Good day, everyone. It's Angie McLeod here from HIP Strategic Consulting, and I am so glad you can join me for the first video of 2020. It's a new decade. It's a time and an opportunity for us to really dive into our businesses and figure out what we're doing, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. And I don't know about you, but 2020 just seems like a great time to mix things up and really get some focus in on what is most important to us. Today, I want to talk about annual themes. I always set an annual theme. I call it an intention that helps drive my business forward. And I spend time every year, usually in December, just sort of journaling and figuring out what's most important to me and looking at, okay, what are the goals that I've set for myself? What is it I'm reflecting on the most? Where do I want to focus my attention? And as we're coming into this new decade, I'm really taking some time thinking about this. Normally by this time of the year, I have it already set. I don't yet though. What I'm really trying to do is to sort of say, okay, what's really important, not only for this year, but looking forward. Because my annual theme, while it's about this year, it's also about looking forward and saying, how do my themes build upon each other? So an example of that is in 2018, I was looking at what I was going to do with my company, and I decided it was time to do some things differently to really change how I was doing business and change my business model and the kind of work I was going after. And so in 2018, my theme was disruptive abundance. So it really was about changing my business model, but at the same time, achieving abundance. So for me, that hit on two key pieces. One, I wanted to make change and I wanted to challenge the status quo of the way I was doing things. And secondly, I wanted abundance. And so abundance for me wasn't just about the money, although money is certainly wonderful. However, it was also about abundance in terms of how I used my time, how much time I had with my family, whether I was able to do the things that I wanted to do, my own personal health, et cetera, et cetera. So abundance was about so much more than just the financials. But that was a really good theme for me. And I found that theme really resonated for me. And in fact, I considered carrying it forward for a second year because it was so effective for me. But when I really sat down in the end of the year 2018 and looked into 2019, I went, is it really about being disruptive now? Because if I continue to be disruptive, then I'm not focusing in on those things that the changes I've made to really move them forward. And so I decided that abundance was a key theme I still wanted to carry through. I wanted to keep that going because that was really working for me by focusing on what I had, what was really good in my world, and looking around me and saying, what have I got that makes my world so abundant was great. The disruptive part wasn't a good fit moving into 2019. So I spent some time actually looking at what was it about. And when I really dove into that, it was about taking all of those changes I've made and figuring out how I would scale them, how I would make those changes help me grow my business. And so some of the changes when I changed my business model, it was about, okay, what are the materials I already have? How do I reuse those in a different and creative way? What kind of partnerships can I develop? How can I offer the same program in 3 different ways? Maybe one's online, one's in person, one's a blended program. So how can I use those same materials in different ways so I'm not recreating the wheel all the time? And in 2019, that's proven to be really, really effective. I've taken some of my existing blogs, I'm writing a book, I'm taking some of my programs and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to deliver it over here in partnership with so-and-so, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it an online course, and I'm going to take pieces of it and deliver them as challenges and those kinds of things. So it's been really kind of interesting because the theme has really guided the work that I've done. Now, some of you will be asking, how do these themes actually help you set your intentions? And I want to share with you 2 things. A is a blog that I've written that talks about intention setting and why it's important and what my process is. So it's a really good resource. So this intention poster, a colorful reminder. This is what my intention poster looked like in 2017. It's one example of how I use my intentions and my themes. In 2017, my theme was to grow. It was as simple as that, to thrive and grow. And when I thought about that, when I really looked at what was most important for me, then I started to break it out. Well, how does that look? what's going to help me achieve that theme? And then I began to say, okay, well, I wanted to increase my revenues by 25%. I wanted to develop some new ideas. Still wanted freedom and flexibility. I wanted to own my skills and my talents. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to be wildly successful on my own terms. This is the year that I actually began to really embrace that wildly successful piece. I wanted to build relationships. I wanted to say yes to more and take action. So you can see in here, what I've done is I've set some further intentions beyond the theme. And so I've broken that theme down and said, well, what does that actually look like? Seeking mentors, hosting conversations, pushing boundaries, stretching, getting support, encouragement, and getting lifted up. Reaching out to my community and connecting with women. All of those things are how I want to do it. It also talks about my values, what's most important to me. I want to be balanced, I want freedom, I want flexibility, I want to have fun. So those were important as well. And so in this intention poster is reflected not only what my goal is, but also what are the pieces that make this viable? What are the pieces that I need to keep in mind when I'm doing this? By setting my intentions, and I do this every year, this is probably year 6 of me doing this, it really does give me a bit of a touchstone. I also post this up so that I can see it all of the time. And that's really important as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is just that in this actual document, I talk about how I do this, what my process is. Feel free to pop over to this blog post and take a look at it. That's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about annual themes. I've mentioned it in my personal message to you, but I wanted to give you a little bit more background and maybe show you an example as well so that you could say, how could I use this in my business and figure out if it works for you. If you have questions, of course, please give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Have a great day.